Alright, guys and gals and non-binary pals, we've got a Dead by Daylight situation that arose recently on DBD Twitter, our favorite terminally online slop hole that's, you know, I don't know, a lot of Dead by Daylight drama is very silly, but, apparently this guy got some allegations. This guy named GummyPeachRings, he was like a hag main, who I guess, was, well-known in the Dead by Daylight community. Got some allegations against him of being a sex pest, allegedly. So I feel like this was an interesting situation that we could take a look at. There was a Google Doc released by, Recianthi? I cannot fucking say your name. Is it, I'll just say Re. This person named Re, because, I feel like that's easier. Alright. Here's the Google Doc, I guess. I mean, generally speaking, this Google Doc is fairly long. Now, before we get into it, I do think there's one thing that we need to note is that there are a lot of situations, particularly online, especially in a lot of these, spheres. The Dead by Daylight, Twitter space and, a lot of these online spaces are very immature. You know, there's a lot of immaturity that goes on in these spaces. They don't really push back against anything. So typically, whenever any sort of allegation comes out, it's believed almost immediately. An example of this was during the Otsdarva and Nina situation, where I guess the original accuser made a short document, which was nice compared to some of the longer documents I've read on the channel. But the problem was that there was no evidence being shown. And then it turned into a whole conversation about they shouldn't have to show evidence when they come forward with stories or whatever. You guys are asking for proof way too much or whatever. That's it's just a terrible take. I don't know. If you come forward with allegations against somebody, there's a standard of evidence that people do expect, right? And so obviously I think that's a problem that a lot of people in these online spheres describe how they feel about a situation rather than the reality of the situation. And I feel like that gets lost very quickly. So I think it's just important to bring that up. That's not to say that Nina wasn't guilty or anything. She definitely seemed like she was very guilty based on the situation. And whether or not this GummyPeachRings person is guilty, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna look into it. Okay, no more filibustering. Let's get to this. I want to start this off by introducing myself. Many know me as Recianthi or Reese. I think I'm just gonna say Reese for short because I'm worried that I'm butchering the name. I was a completely faceless VTuber that would stream DBD and variety games for some time before stepping away from content creation as a whole due to the situation that I will be addressing. It is important to note that I was a moderator for the stream team Femmes of the Fog, co-created by Amphibians and Denny Bliss. Hey, familiar names. Femmes of the Fog is a strong stream team that was created so Femmes in the DVD sphere had a safe and welcoming space to be able to grow as a content creator and collaborate with one another. This will come up again later. As a streamer, I frequented DVD Twitter and found many friends and connections, one being GummyPeachRings, aka Freddy. Freddy, GummyPeachRings on Twitch and Real Gummy Hours on Twitter, is a content creator and DVD streamer of over 10k hours that is most known for his hag gameplay and quick quips in the DVD Twitter community. He's beloved by many and makes the effort to come across as a charismatic and passionate member of the community. We first met from a silly tweet reply about me eating him as I had a bag of GummyPeachRings from the gas station, after which he reached out and we started talking. We hit it off, quickly became friends, and started talking to each other for hours every single day, sometimes even texting until we fell asleep. I feel like I'd found one of my soulmate friends in him, which is so hard to find now. We started talking a lot on Discord in November 8th, 2024, and talked almost every day thereafter. We had a lot in common and bonded. We both love DVD, we're content creators, and we're married. He noted that he was excited to find another married person because he needs more married friends. Interesting. So we're really building a timeline here that's, seems like, it doesn't seem like anything is bad so far. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't mean it's gonna get bad later, so we do have to wait, we'll get to the bad stuff way later. The purpose of this document is to hold him accountable for his actions, as well as protect anyone else from being affected, as he also mentions in the screenshots that this is not the first time that this has happened, so hopefully this inspired others affected by him and his sex pests acts to come forward. I also want to hold the co-founders of Femmes of the Fog accountable for failing me as what the fuck, dude, you said failing I think you meant to say failing me as a fellow Femmes of the Fog member and actively platforming someone that they knew is a sex pest that had harassed one of their own. This is also me taking back my voice and my power after being scared for so long. All right, I mean, we'll see what we got. Timeline, context about screenshots. I deleted all of our messages because anytime I looked at them, I deleted all of our messages because anytime I looked at them, it felt like my skin was crawling as well. So I was afraid that if he knew I had them, he'd be so paranoid and just post my photos as blackmail. I was scared and not thinking straight, so my messages gone through. I was able to recover his side of the messages from Discord. So just to be clear, if you delete your side of the messages, it doesn't matter if there's like something like some form of blackmail. That is going to look very suspicious to anyone outside of the DBD community looking into these allegations, just to be absolutely clear. Like, anytime somebody deletes their side of the story, that immediately communicates that you have something to hide. And if you don't have anything to hide, you should be able to show them. Even if you're not, like, perfect, if GummyPeachRings is, like, worse than you are, then there's no way whatever was in the messages that you sent could be worse than what he sent, right? So, already, this is going to be a little bit suspicious, and people, like, anyone outside of the DBD community, not in the DBD community, because people on DBD Twitter believe every single allegation they read online. They don't look into anything whatsoever. Or they probably just look at the surface level of it, and then they just, like, listen to whatever the popular narrative is online, and then they just give that take, essentially, without adding any sort of brain power to it. But that aside, like, anyone outside the DBD community, anyone just, like, normally looking into this, like, in an unbiased way, this is gonna look very suspicious, just to be absolutely clear. So, okay, I mean, I'll try to read between the lines, but that really does come across like you're removing very important context, so I'm not a massive fan of that, but, alright. November 8th, 2024, first Twitter interaction plus Discord messages. November 12th, 2024, talking about our marriages. November 13th, 2024 to November 14th, 2024, jokes, but it's him being a freak. November 18th, 2024, admits to getting off to plus during our messages. November 21st, 2024, last time talking to him. Alright, so it was very quick, right? So this dude, I guess, got super horny for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you guys stopped talking. Interesting. Okay. When Freddie and I first started talking, we were very quick to connect with each other. I'm literally talking within 2 days of talking. He decided that it would be a super close connection. Interesting. Alright, so you guys connected. Hello, short stuff. I mean, shorty, lol. I see you on my timeline a lot. You seem super cool. I'd love to get to know you better. And then, okay, so these are, by the way, just to be clear, these messages were sent 4 days apart from each other. You could see the date on these messages. They're 4 days apart. Just in case there's, like, any fuckery going on with the context of these. Me too. I could tell we'll be super close. Not like we aren't already. I was very excited to connect with him as I'd been a fan of his content from afar and I looked up to him as a DBD content creator. I'd mentioned that I have a decently hard time making friends as I am severely anxious, and in turn, he'd open up about his struggles with mental health, so it seemed like it would be a nice bond that we could form. Our friendship progressed, and he said all the right things to make me think that I could trust him. I was in a healing era of trying to be more open and vulnerable, so I did something that I only did with close friends. A face reveal, as I was a completely faceless VTuber at the time. This is important later. November 9th, 2024. First images to show that he acknowledged my marriage. Okay, so you face revealed, but then I guess you deleted that face reveal. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you screenshot your messages and then you, like, post it online, you could censor your face reveal with him. Obviously, there's always a chance he could dox it, and that would be shitty. So if you were scared of that, I understand that. But I feel like if you were scared of him doxing your face reveal, you could just remove your face reveal, but keep all the other messages, and then be transparent about, I have removed the face reveal because I'm scared that he might dox my face, right? Okay, then I would have been a little more understanding of that if you did it that way, but instead you just deleted every single message, which, again, looks very suspicious to anyone outside of the Dead by Daylight community trying to, like, educate themselves on somebody who might be a sex pest. Who knows? I don't know if he actually is or isn't. Like, we haven't gotten that far yet. We're not there right now. What are your sexual preferences? Are you a woman lover? You really are a VTuber. Oh, you're married. Yuppie, me too. Oddly enough, to a VTuber. Yes, her name is Dusky. Dusky Lee on Twitch. Dear Deity. That's her. Okay. So the sexual preferences is obviously, like, sexual orientation. I don't think this, on its own, makes him a sex pest, unless there's, like, other messages, like, later that are incriminating. There might be. Yo, sick. How long have you been married for, by the way? 5. Yeah, I had her immigrated from the States up here to Canada. We were a long-distance relationship for 7 years before that. Ha ha ha, insane. I'm so glad you're married, though. I need more married friends. Thought this was like the jokes like he'd frequently make on Twitter. Give me your PayPal, my darling. But first, I need to see those toes. Discussing marriage again, and his and mine. Okay. Again, you deleted all of your responses, so you guys probably talked about it for some time. It's something weird. Okay, I don't know, man. It's like, I still don't have a good feeling about this person, Reese, or Riss, however you say her name, just deleting her side of the messages. I don't really have a good feeling about that, but, okay, gotcha. He isn't the jealous type, I'm guessing. My wife isn't, even though most of my friends are girls. Okay, good. I've been in a lot of situations where I get a bit too close to someone's significant other. Wait, hold on. I've been in a lot of situations where I get a bit too close and someone's significant other gets upset. So this guy seems like he might be fine with cheating. I'm not a homewrecker. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that. Like, you're saying you're not a homewrecker, but you say that you're, like, interested in, like, talking with other people and you're allegedly getting, like, horny. I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy that, of him saying I'm not a homewrecker. That, I sense a little bit of cap there on GummyPeachRings' part. That's freaking adorable. I can't wait to meet him. Does he play DBD? Okay, so they're talking about, I guess, her significant other. Okay. Freddie was known for making jokes about feet on DVD Twitter and had made one joke with me as well. I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I thought it was a joke. So I sent some pictures of my spiky Doc Martens. Okay, so you sent him a picture of your boots. Spiky boots. All right. He was reactive to it, but again, I thought it was all jokes, as I'd drawn a very clear line that I was married monogamously. Well, just to be clear, we're not going to know for sure if you drew a clear line, because you deleted all of your messages, so we don't know for sure if you drew a very clear line. This is why we don't delete our side of the messages, so you can prove your own narrative. This is why we don't do that, just to be clear. It would be one thing if you were scared that he might have leaked your face reveal, potentially. So you could have removed that and then been transparent about that in your document, but it seems like you weren't even doing that. So, again, that's why we don't do that, but he'd even hung out with myself and my husband in Discord calls to chat and play games. I found him the next day. The feet thing wasn't jokes for him. Feet. That's okay. Take them off. Reese, just put them out. Put the feet in the bag, bro. I would too. Let me see. Okay, so he's definitely asking for the feet, but I don't know what you said. So, like, I just don't know the context of this. It's really frustrating that I'm not getting the context of her replies. Like, it's really, like, it just makes this come across like there's something not right about the way this document is being portrayed here. Like, I can't see any of the messages that she sent to him. It's very weird. Like, so I'm not going to know for sure if this is going to be, like, an immature response or not, or, like, a potentially sex pest response. It could be that, but I really wish I had the messages that she sent to him to actually make that, like, good faith interpretation. But because I can't see what she sent to him and I can't see the context of the entire conversation that both of them had, I can't in good faith say that this is, like, sex pest behavior. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't make that assertion, especially considering I don't have those messages. I'm sorry. November 14th, 2024. Screenshots of him coming on to me, realizing that I'm not on the same wavelength as him and thought it was all jokes. Okay. So if this is him realizing and apologizing over it, then... Okay. True. I'm being very serious. What I mean is, I really do have a foot fetish. Okay, so that definitely doesn't seem like these are jokes. And like, I'm going crazy over everything today and yesterday. I just don't want you to think I'm creepy for fawning over it at all. Okay, I mean, it's definitely weird, I would say. Oh, OMG, I'm so sorry. Yes, I really do have a foot fetish. I thought... Oh, I'm really embarrassed. No, I should have been more forward. I thought you were, like, actually providing me with a lot of fetish material. Oh. So, okay, so this pretty much confirms, like, his side here. He pretty much confirms that this was with sexual intentions. Okay. Reese, you are so fucking lucky that he just outwardly admits this. I still am not a fan that you deleted your side of the conversation, but you're so lucky that, like, the narrative here is, like, pretty clear, and it does sort of track here, based on what I'm seeing. So, it could be. But if it's a boundary that he didn't know that he crossed, then... I don't know. If he stops doing it after you guys set the boundary, then that still wouldn't necessarily be sex pest behavior. But he definitely knew that this was with sexual intention. Okay, so at least for that. I thought you were, like, providing a lot of fetish material. No, it's okay. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you, like, ugh, I'm sorry. I feel stupid. Okay, and then you reply with something, whatever it is. I'm so sorry. I don't want this to affect our friendship. I'm going to delete all these pictures. I'm so sorry. Okay, so does he stop doing it going forward? Is that the question? He proceeds to continue to make more sexual jokes after apologizing. Yeah, okay, that checks out. The timeline of the messages seems to check out. You're in a committed relationship too. I don't want to make the whole feet thing and make you feel uncomfortable. I'm truly sorry. I never want to push your boundaries. Okay, I'm glad we got past that. Anyways, when are you going to tell me your bra size? Oh. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. This is actually pretty fucking damning if this is true. Oh my god, this is actually, like, really damning information. Like, so far, you could have chalked it up, like, if he was like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, like, push a boundary, and then he stopped doing it after that, I could be like, okay, you know, he didn't know that he was pushing a boundary, and then he stopped, like, going in that direction. But it seems like after that, he just, like, straight up continues to try to be more sexual, especially when you make a very clear boundary. It seems like you made a pretty clear boundary. Again, I can't see your messages, so it's a little bit frustrating. But it definitely, like, so far, I would say this is the most damning screenshot in the document. This is pretty fucking damning. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he literally, like, you guys set boundaries that, like, oh, yeah, I don't want to do this because you're in a committed relationship. And then he literally asks you about your bra size. That's crazy. And your feet size. And your calf length. And he literally, okay. Wow. That's crazy. This could potentially be the most damning part of the document. Later that day, I'd reached out to talk about, because at this time, I just thought that it would be a misunderstanding and I was willing to work through that. Later that day, because this is 3 a.m. Oh, okay, yeah, it is later that day. Yeah, the timeline does check out. Okay. Thank you for reaching out. I'm not doing good today, but I appreciate it. I just feel gross. I do, because I was, like, using you? I don't know how to put it. I feel sick. I was using you. What the fuck do you mean using you? He states that this is not the first time that this has happened. I cannot fucking see this message. Okay, I can't say that I've ever had this kind of situation happen before. I feel really horrible. I thought it was all genuine, and every time I think about it, I want to cry and just shame myself. Okay. I mean, you still engaged with it right afterwards, so I don't know, dude. It's like, this does, like, I don't know, man. It's like, normally a lot of drama and a lot of situations online when it comes to Dead by Daylight, typically I just roll my eyes at, because there are a lot of really dumb situations online that happen in this community, and, like, I feel like a lot of the community gets very preachy when it comes to these situations, and they are like, oh my god, this is so disgusting, and they, like, over-sensationalize, and they, like, come at it with all this high energy, and I'm just like, chill out, alright, chill out. Let's actually, like, look at the situation and meet where it's at. So far, this message potentially is like something that could be very damning against this GummyPeachRings person. Long image above, hard to read, but it says, I can't say I've ever... Okay, yeah, you literally just included it there. Okay. After this, he'd continue making flirty and off-putting comments, but again, under the guise of joke flirting, which I do with all my friends, and I said that it wasn't a problem if he was just joking. It was funny until it wasn't. Oh my fucking god. I'm suddenly a pay pig. Laughing my fucking ass off. Says you, bitch slut. Not literally, if only. Okay. I mean, he's probably just like joking there, I guess. Alright. I will always gas my friends up, especially when they're down on themselves, but he genuinely took it as flirtation. I mean, you're teetering. Like, you've got a nice build. I get wanting to look better in your own eyes, though. I'm so red right now. GummyPeachRings, the Hagman shy, blushing even? Okay, so you guys are, like, kind of flirting a little bit while you're both married, which is, like, a little bit weird. I mean, it's not, like, genuine flirtation, like, from your end, but it's, like, I don't know. If these are the kind of messages that you're sending or that you were sending prior, it could be easy to understand why maybe Gummy interpreted that as like, oh, hey, maybe this is flirtation. But you need to show proof of yourself setting hard boundaries. Again, like, it seems like you guys were talking about it in this part right here. It seems like you guys were talking about it, unless you deleted a message from yourself saying, oh, no, it's totally fine. You can keep doing it, unless you deleted that side of it, which would be very shitty. But assuming that your side is correct, which it seems like the timeline does check out, I'm not really, like, seeing any discrepancy in this document so far. The timeline seems to match up fairly well. Like, it seems like you guys probably had a conversation going over boundaries, and then, like, right after that conversation, he literally just, like, when are you gonna tell me your bra size? Which is, like, very weird. It's, like, very strange shit. I'm so red right now. Oh, yeah, okay, we read that. I'm blushing even? Very. You got me feeling, I don't know, you flirt with me and I get all flustered. Come on. I'm just gassing you up like you deserve. Okay, so just to be clear, you said he took it as genuine flirtation. If you see that he says you flirt with me and I get all flustered, you have to make it clear that you're not flirting and be like, hey, just to be clear, this is not flirting. I'm just, like, gassing you up as a friend, just so you know, like, these are the boundaries I have to set up. You have to set hard boundaries. And again, you might have done that earlier in these messages. It's possible you might have done that. I'm not going to know for sure because it's not fucking there. You deleted it, but yeah, like, you do have to set those hard boundaries. If GummyPeachRings doesn't know that you're uncomfortable with it, then nothing is going to change. That's why it's important, because I assume you're both legal adults. I mean, if you're married, you're legal adults. So I imagine you both have to just, like, set hard boundaries as legal adults. So it's just important to do that. Well, bleh. I guess you aren't really flirting, Lamau. I then proceed to make a joke out of him thinking that I was flirting with him. It's okay, babe. I'm Delulu, too. You're calling him babe while you're married? I don't know. Okay, that's a little... Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard. It's a bit of a tough sell to say, hey, this is not genuine flirtation, and then you proceed to call him babe. That's a little bit strange. Like, especially considering you're both married. It's like, I don't know. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, for all I know, the narrative could be real, and it seems like for the most part it is, but there are definitely, like, small bits and pieces that are a little bit suspicious to me. It's like, it's totally possible that GummyPeachRings is just, like, interpreting this as, oh, hey, this is legitimate flirtation. So, I don't know. Oops, it's me and my delusional thoughts again. Not too long after, he admitted to getting off to my messages. I thought he admitted to that earlier already. I guess he admits it again, maybe? That were as innocent as me talking about how I wanted to dye my hair and cut it for the holidays. I knew that I no longer wanted to be friends with him after this. He was constantly crossing my boundaries, and the only reason I had continued my friendship with him was because I was scared he'd get angry and post photos of me online as revenge. But I can't hold this in anymore. Okay, I mean, it doesn't seem like you were threatened. I mean, maybe you were. I wasn't really getting that vibe from the messages. I don't know. there doesn't really seem to be anything threatening about this guy in particular. Like, I'm not really seeing any, like, abuse of a power dynamic. Like, if GummyPeachRings was like, hey, if you don't have sex with me, or if you don't send me these pictures, I will fucking cancel you on DBD Twitter, that would make it, like, predatory. That would be, like, the kind of messages I would be looking for. But it doesn't really, like, so far, I'm not really, like, I'm seeing, like, maybe one piece of damning information that could potentially be sex pest behavior, definitely. But again, it's hard to even say that when I can't even see the messages you guys were sending to each other prior. So, I don't know. I'd never cut my hair short. My hair is my security. I would play with your hair. Would you let me? Okay, so he's doing a bit of a boundary tester. He's obviously flirting. I do need a trim for the dead ends, though. Like, are you going to pop out a French braid for me? Or, oh no, just play with it. Rub my fingers through it, twirl it around with my finger. That's it. That sounds sensual. Are you getting off to this? Be honest. No, with eyes, and he's lying. GummyPeachRings. Okay, yes, I'm breaking out the legal name. Yes, I am. Rah. Can I be brutally honest? You are something else. I don't know how to put it. It's not because my libido is so high or anything. Even though it makes it easy to excite, you are especially very attractive, and I think about you a lot. You're always talking about me, or you're always talking with me, and like the entire week we've been talking nonstop. You are very, very enticing to me. You have such a way with a personality, but I like thinking about you, not in that way. Shut the fuck up. You are thinking about her in that way. Shut the fuck up. You're like saying, I like thinking about you, but not in that way. You literally just said you were. It's like, it's such bullshit. Like, he's bullshitting here. He's obviously thinking about her, especially while he's married. I think it's weird, personally. But when it comes to cheating online, I don't really like think that's like a cancel worthy thing. I don't think someone should have their entire career ruined over it. I'll just look at them and be like, yeah, this is like, especially since this guy is like in his 30s, I think it's pathetic. Like, this is pathetic to be like doing this like weird shit, like flirting on Discord with other people while you're already in a marriage. Like, that's pathetic. I don't know. Lamau, not the tweet delete. That's crazy. Anyways, and again, this Reese person, or this Rice person, or whoever, I don't know how to say your name. I'm fucking having trouble saying your name. You gotta, like, if there is, like, actually, like, any legitimate discomfort, you have to make that clear to him. Like, 100%, or else he's gonna keep thinking that this is totally fine behavior. So, I don't know. Yeah, I know it's, like, completely outside of your boundaries, so I'm very sorry. Oh. Wait. Yeah, I know. It's, like, completely outside of your boundaries. I'm very sorry. Is he talking about some tweet that he made? Whether it's about her, or, like, was it, like, a tweet that he made gassing her up or something? Is that what happened? Because I have no idea. Okay. I don't know. That's a little bit... I mean, like, in a vacuum, saying that I know it's completely outside of your boundaries, that doesn't sound good. Okay. I assume that's, like, in reference to, like, some kind of, like, tweet that he made. I don't know what the tweet is. It makes sense that Reese wouldn't have it, or whatever. Or Riss, or however you say her name. Okay, November 21st, 2025. After this last instance, I'd started ignoring his messages. Oh, you mean 2024. I think that's another typo. I think she meant to say 2024. Okay, fair enough. I was about to say 2025. I thought you were only talking with this guy for a few weeks. After this last instance, I'd started ignoring his messages and avoiding any contact. That is, until he asked to talk. I said that I only wanted to talk to him in a voice chat and ended up recording the conversation. Okay. Unfortunately, I was using Snipping Tool. I'd not had any clipping software installed, and I had just gotten a new PC, and I didn't know that I needed to manually select and also record my voice. So it is a one-sided conversation. So, okay. I mean, you could still technically show that. Maybe. I appreciate the transparency on that. You know, it happens. Sometimes we don't, like, sometimes we're not all tech-savvy people, so I totally understand that. But, like, do you at least have that? Maybe there might be something there that's, like, worth looking at. Or maybe it's just like completely worthless. I don't know. Basically, the recorded conversation was that I didn't want him sexually harassing me and crossing my boundaries again anymore. Well, I think that would be still valuable to show, because even if you're not showing his side, that could still show that you're like talking about it. I don't know. Could be still worth having, but who knows. As again, I was afraid of him revealing my face if I had ever said anything, so I didn't want him to think that I would. Also, the messages made me sick anytime I saw them anyways. I mean, to be honest with you, I so far am not seeing any like sickening growth. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, and this might come across as very shitty, but I'm not really grossed out by these messages, if you want me to be absolutely honest with you. Like, so far, what we have is, like, potential sex pest behavior, which it could be, absolutely, like, based on some of the messages and, like, the context of some of this. Because it seems like he knew that he was crossing some boundaries, and then he was, like, saying, hey, I'm sorry I did this, and then he would, like, do it immediately after. That is potentially damning. Like, that could be sex pest behavior, and that's, like, not cool. You know, that's definitely not, like, cool. But I'm not really, like, I don't know. I'm not really coming at this with the energy of, like, I guess what everyone else on DBD Twitter is coming at it with. He also knew about my childhood trauma surrounding grooming and sexual abuse, and ironically, everything that he did triggered all those feelings, being a helpless little girl to come back in full effect. Okay. All right. His confession in September 29th, 2025. After over a year of being silent, he reached out to a mutual friend of ours who wishes to remain anonymous and confessed to everything. He also said a vile phrase that made me feel sick to my stomach. Maybe I thought in my own head that I could get away with it. I thought that even after being told no, I could still get what I'd wanted. Oh, that's crazy. Jesus fucking Christ, that's insane. Wow, that's... Oh, yeah, that's about as damning as of evidence as you can get. Like, listen, normally Dead by Daylight drama is, like, kind of a nothing burger in a lot of cases, and it's, like, a lot of people come at it with, like, very disproportionate energy, and I feel like people need to, like, chill out and not get, like, so morally preachy on Twitter all the time. Because, like, the internet, like, there's a lot of morally grandiose energy that the internet and Twitter fills your head with. So, like, I feel like it's just important to, like, meet situations where they're at. But if there is, like, a literal message of him admitting that he thought he could get away with pushing boundaries of somebody, that's about as damning of a message as you can get. We'll see, but yeah. Him reaching out wasn't even just to clear this off his chest. You can see in the messages that is because he thought that I had something to do with his Steam account being hacked. Likely because an old mutual who knew what happened, Koawi on Twitter, made a post mocking his account and being hacked and saying that he was finally getting mocked for what he deserved. Screenshots of the conversation will be included, with the mutual being marked out due to protect their privacy. Okay, fair enough. I won't provide context of any of this, as the confession speaks for itself. Okay, cool, fair enough. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so September 29, 2025. I'd like that, but first, I need to know. Actually, it's a lot. Are you sure? Anything for a friend. I'm on the bus, so I may reply a little late. It's all right. I keep a lot of my life separate from online. Have I told you about my family, my brothers, and my mother? Yes, but not a lot. You told me about one of your brothers. I have two. One is severely autistic, and the other is handicapped mentally and physically. A lot falls on me to help take care of them. My mother is getting much older and is having trouble taking care of them. I have to take the brunt of the work to take care of them, having to essentially give up most of my free will, as I've done for much of my life, to take care of them. I know it sounds dramatic. It's constant gaslighting and guilt tripping from my mother. That's part of it. Can I ask you something? This whole conversation here, I don't want anything to leave. Can you keep this between us? I'm having a lot of paranoid thoughts. Of course, this is your personal life. It's none of my business, especially to share it with others. Well, that aged like milk, because we are reading these messages right now. Like, when I was coming out of my teenage years, I did a lot of recreational drugs, and I believe it altered my brain chemistry. And I get extremely paranoid, and I lash out. I'm sorry. I know you're not a therapist. I need to ask you this for my own state of mind. Why did you unfollow me on Twitter? That could very well happen. Our brains aren't fully developed until 25, so like that, especially over a long effect, can have a lasting effect. Oh, did I? I was doing an unfollow spree. I might have accidentally unfollowed yours. Let me double check. I go through this phase of psychosis and my unhealthy obsessions. It's hard to stop. Well, what would be an unhealthy obsessions? It sounds like you have a lot on your conscience. It is. Is it just stress of everything going on with your family? I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen. Damn it. I'm going to give this like blurred out person the benefit of the doubt that maybe autocorrect like fucked you over or something in the chat. Blank, I assume that's the name of this person. I have a lot of unhealthy obsessions. Am I wrong to think you already don't know why I'm paranoid? You didn't need to follow back, by the way. With your family, we haven't really talked about that with your life besides here and there. Wait, did I skip a screenshot? I think I might have skipped a screenshot. No, I didn't. We're fine. Okay, so if there's anything more, what's got you upset? I'm pretty much a blank check. I try to stay out of others' business when unless I need to step in. I have an unhealthy obsession with a few things. Some things like constant approval. I also have a problem with cutting the bottoms of my feet. Cutting the bottoms. But I believe my most unhealthy obsession that I'm going to seek therapy for is porn addiction. Damn. That's crazy work, bro. You know, I feel like that's very common on DBD Twitter. A lot of people are a bit gooner-brained. You know, porn addiction, I would say, is probably worse than, like, heroin addiction or, like, other addictions. It'd be like that sometimes, I guess. So, like, I kind of feel that. I'm just kind of getting a vibe that there's more than just family. Just by how you're typing it gives me guilt of conscience vibes, which is why I asked. But you already mentioned paranoia, and as someone who's also paranoid a lot, I understand. I trust you, blank. I apologize if I ask questions. It's just so I better can understand and help. What do you mean by cutting the bottom of your feet? Like physical cutting? Like how would someone... how would their wrist? Yeah, I use a small knife, nail file, or even nail clippers. Okay, so he self-harms. That's definitely mental health issues that you should be seeing a therapist for sure. Oh, geez, friend, I was once in that dark place and it's scary. I hope with this therapist you can plan to see all of this gets addressed. I'm sorry if you don't want to keep talking about this. If for any reason you don't feel comfortable, I really don't want to push you. You mentioned you're in particular going for this. I'm not as familiar with this, so I'm curious to, does your wife know about any of these things you're discussing with me? Nothing I talk about here she doesn't already know about. Okay, interesting. No, it's fine. I just, oh, and then there's, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, it's there. Okay, it's there. Okay, jeez. I was about to say, like, if you cut out context there, that would have been so fucking disgusting if you cut out context from that. But no, you didn't do that. Okay, so it's there. I just have to double check. No, it's fine. I just ask questions so I can better understand. I'm here to listen. I'm not here to judge unless it's something like murder, harming of other animals, or anything involving children, which I hope isn't the case. I always let her know everything I'm going through. No, oh God, no. As long as she's aware, because she will and should be your rock during these hard times, and I'm glad she is. Jesus Christ, no, she is. She is always got my back and thinks it's going to be great going to therapy, especially for this. So there's no need to worry about judgment from me, because addictions like these are scary and hard to break habits. Trust me, I've seen folks struggle with a lot. Well, that's good. The thing is, blank, I really hurt someone, and I really hope this stays in this DM. Hurt them how? I need to give context first. My wife and I have a semi-open relationship/marriage. Oh, okay, so that makes me care even less about the cheating part, if that's true. If they actually are in, like, an open marriage, and they, like, talk to, like, other people and flirt with other people, like, while they're in that marriage, I mean, that's, like, okay. That's not that big of a deal, personally. I really don't think that's... Alright. That makes me care even less about the cheating aspect, then. This is not my business to discuss to others. I get that. My husband and I are poly and granted closed now, but still, so I'm familiar with the concept. So lets me have a free range of flirting. She lets me have a free range of flirting, nasty stuff. I won't go into details. Okay, so you know what's up then. That is up to you. I'm here to listen. Within the past few months, I got into a new friend group. I joined through a mutual friend, and granted, at the time, I thought I was matching the vibe of the group. It wasn't the case. I was very much being too flirty and forward with someone in this group. Time goes on, and we talk in DMs about how I'm in an open relationship with my wife. I need to finish my thoughts here. I compliment this person a lot, thinking maybe they are trying to reciprocate the flirts, but they weren't. I also wasn't getting the hint. So she's talking. This person, or Gummy, is talking about Reese here, or Res. Either way. R. I'm just gonna say R from now on. I'm just gonna call you R, cause I for some reason cannot fucking say your name properly. So he's talking about R here. Yeah, so they talk, compliment, thinking that they're trying to reciprocate the flirts. So yeah, okay. I kept asking them more and more real life pictures of them, complimenting their hair and stuff, self-admittedly their feet, and I told them I was into feet and asked for feet pictures. They realized what I was doing. I was being a sex pest. Ouch. Damn, that's tough. This happened twice. The day after it happened the second time, they asked me to remove myself from their group, and I obliged. I can't begin to tell you how much... Okay, that's cut off. I don't know what the fuck happened. Alright, that DM was cut off, I guess. I couldn't read that. I can't begin to tell you how much, whatever. I guess maybe... I imagine GummyPeachRings has some level of guilt for it. I would imagine so. The reason I left Twitter was because I know I need to fix this part of my life and somehow just make it a better place in the space that I'm in on Twitter by not being there. Once again, I apologize because I asked questions so I could better understand. You said you did this twice. Were you spoken to about doing it on the first time? Yes. I spoke about it before and I continued. I was spoken to about it before. I see. Are they someone I know? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not at liberty to say their name. What led to this conversation in the first place? That's fair. How'd you meet them? DBD group? Mutuals from work? Wow. Mutuals from DBD. I don't know how the topic of my marriage came up. I know I was talking about relationships a lot in this group. I'm sure it struck up because of the topic we were on. Was this behavior mirrored? Like you asked for blank? Like you asked for feet pics and they provided? Or did you pressure? I pressured them. I talked them into it. Not so much forced them to do it. Wow. That's a crazy thing to admit to. Jesus fucking Christ. That's insane. Oh my god. Wait, that's actually... Dude, this is so damning. What the fuck? Oh, that's fucking crazy, dude. Okay. Wow. That's insane. Yeah, that's not good. Wow. Damn. That's crazy. So in no way, shape, or form, the behavior was mirrored from the beginning by their own free will. No, I see. I don't have an excuse, blank. I'm glad you don't. I think you being genuine and honest with me is a good first step, and it'll make the recovery all the easier. I don't want to hurt people. That being said, I will be a bit of a hard ass because 1, I always be real and never bullshit, and 2, from what I'm hearing, someone was pressured when they do acts when they didn't want to. That is a very fucked up thing to do, especially when it comes to lewd acts or anything. Consent is key. Are you scared this person would expose you? Because if that's the first I'm hearing anything about this, and if it's someone on DBD, unless they're not on DBD Twitter, I feel like they'd have said something already. That's not necessarily true. Some people take a while to come forward with stories. I'm not scared. They would expose me. No. They can't tell whoever and whenever they want. I can't control that. I don't know what they're doing now, what they're up to. I took them out of my life completely. I just have to take it if they do. It's probably for the best you don't know for your sake and theirs. I told you because I trust you. And I needed to tell someone. If it ever comes to light, at least I know you can hold me accountable. I told you the truth. I wouldn't ever not tell the truth, but I'm glad I told you. Yeah. This guy's in his 30s, and he's pressuring people. He's testing boundaries, seemingly. And based on the DMs that I'm reading, where like it's like after like apparently our set boundaries, like you continue to try to like ask like her bra size or whatever, just like very inappropriate questions. It's like very weird behavior. I will give a bit of a take here just to like level the playing field a little bit. While I don't think what GummyPeachRings did was good, I am going to be a little bit normal. I think everyone on DBD Twitter is treating him like he's some violent predator, and I don't really think that's the energy we need to come at this with. This is somebody who I don't think is a threat to society. I don't think GummyPeachRings is a threat to people around him. This is just behavior that needs to be corrected with a therapist, and he needs to deal with it offline. Even if he has to leave the DBD community to deal with it, then okay, then he has to leave the DBD community if he wants to. But this is just behavior that I think rehabilitation for GummyPeachRings is possible. That's what I'm saying. Right? I don't think his behavior is good, but I think there is a route for rehabilitation. I don't think he's such a violent predator to the point where what he did was irredeemable. And that's, I think, the normal take to have in the situation. The outside of the DBD sphere take of the situation. That's really it. Okay. Not gonna lie, I'm upset to hear all of this. I'm happy you're going to get help you need, and I really hope things go up your way. This is a huge mistake on your part that may affect your life in the way. How you choose to proceed is on you. I'm honored that you came to me and open up as your friend. I'm going to be honest and real with you. Thank you. I understand if you don't want to talk to me anymore. Thank you for being blunt and real with me. I think what's best for you is you stay away from Twitter, focus on yourself, and do activities that'll help you in recovery. Thank you. I still think of you as a friend, granted a friend who did something fucked up. We all make mistakes in life, some of them big enough to really be eye-openers and help us change for the better. My ex had moments like that, and I was a sucker to give him more than just a chance. Take this lesson and learn. Consent is key. Whatever adults choose to do while they're consenting is up to them. May I ask another question? Go ahead. Do you have mutuals or like-minded individuals who have consented to this behavior? I could have sworn you told me about playing WoW with a couple of them and being over-sexual was a huge no. So I'm struggling to understand what made you pursue this individual despite being told no once. Like, I understand addiction is difficult, but porn addiction can be handled in many different ways from what I understand. I don't have any like-minded mutuals or people in my life that would have consented to things like this, no. I don't want to excuse this on my addiction either. I believe it was a factor at the time. Maybe in my own head, I thought I could get away with it. I thought even though being told no, I'd still get what I'd want. That's crazy. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah. Okay, so obviously this guy needs some help. Like, he's pretty much just admitting straight up here that, like, even though he's being told no, he's still pursuing actively. That is sex pest behavior, 100%. Like, he's just straight up admitting to it here, and we also saw in, like, the other DMs that he did. Yeah, I mean, that's gross, but, again, given that he's acknowledging it here, and given that he likely is going to see a therapist offline and stuff, and, like, try to get, like, all of it handled and sorted out, I think that's, like, again, I don't think this guy's a threat to society. You know what I mean? Like, DBD Twitter is obviously, like, coming at this with energy, being like, this guy's a violent predator, and they're gonna have all their, like, fucking pitchforks and torches out, and they're gonna, like, go after this guy like he's some sort of horrific person or whatever, and, like, it's just, like, chill the fuck out, all right? Like, let's relax a little bit, all right? Like, let's not go that far, okay? This is obviously somebody that needs to go offline and needs to deal with their issues offline. Not, we need to set up a witch hunt to go after this person and, like, fucking crucify them online. That's not the energy we need to be coming at this with. Especially considering the Dead by Daylight spaces are very progressive, and the whole point of progressive ideology is to advocate for rehabilitating people. And so the moment it comes to somebody on the internet having to lose their platform over someone that very obviously needs help, it's very weird cognitive dissonance that a lot of progressive spaces online have. I don't understand it fully personally, but whatever. It's really sobering to type that out. I guess that's fair. Not really a common thing out there in the world that's easy to find. I see. I also feel the need to ask, how did you go about talking them into it? Were you, like, persistent, or did you bargain? I was very persistent. Oh, I didn't mean to reply to that. I'm sorry. That was towards the last thing you said. I should also ask, how do you feel currently? No, so the day after. I remember because I just got off work. The person called me. They said they were extremely upset and uncomfortable about everything I did. They told me to leave the group. Also, can I ask, was this before or after we started playing WoW? Before, way before. I remember them saying that they would delete our messages and logs. I should too. Why is it eating at you so hard, if you don't mind me asking? That they want me to leave quietly. So you have no logs or anything about the matter? And not to make an excuse. No, but I'm not lying about any of this. I think Gummy probably has like some level of fear of getting canceled online. They said like if that happens, I just have to take it. But I do think that they probably, I wouldn't doubt that they probably have some level of fear of getting canceled online. It's definitely common when you are like very audience capture. It's very easy to get audience capture in Dead by Daylight spaces because these are communities who will ostracize you for slightly disagreeing with them. I mean, like literally, I watched a video that Quiet Kills made like a few months back about people fucking whining and like throwing a fit over what I guess they thought was a blackface cosmetic that Trickster was getting added to the game, but it was just a bronze mask. And I'm like, okay, chill out. Like, you guys are, it's just like dumb. It's fucking just people overreacting because they're bored. It's like, it's so annoying. So it's like, I feel like people are more concerned about looking good, like morally and like appearing as like virtuous rather than actually caring about these situations and like meeting them where they're at. And I think that's just a huge problem in a lot of online spaces. Like, it just deletes nuance from the converse. Like, people just remove nuance, especially on Twitter. Like, Twitter is, like, one of the most toxic, terminally online platforms ever. Especially considering racism is totally chill on Twitter. Like, you have fucking Sam Hyde on Twitter, who's, like, a legitimate white supremacist who, like, says the N-word on Twitter, and he's fine. Like, his account's still around. That's why they wanted to leave, they wanted me to leave quietly. So you have no logs or anything about the matter, and not to make an excuse. No, but I'm not lying about any of this. I don't think you are. I have nothing. I was told I should delete the conversation. I just, again, am trying to understand. And they would too. They said in a call that they didn't want any backlash or anything like that. What got it eating at me was when I got my Steam account hacked. You saw that, right? When stressful things like that happen, it triggers my paranoia. I start thinking about my family, my brothers and mother, my relationship with my wife, and especially this stuff. Is everything okay between you and your wife? Yes, everything is fine between us. May I ask her thoughts on this whole ordeal, about her thoughts? She doesn't want us to do this stuff anymore. You can imagine the rest, open relationship-wise. So she also dabbled in similar behaviors since it was, I take it, mutually open. I'm not going to answer that. That's fair. So, wait. Okay, I guess that's just because it's like a boundary that he sets with his own wife. Okay, I guess. Fine. It was open. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to air out my wife's laundry. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense, actually. No judgment here, but it's best not to say. Not my business. But yes, I thought maybe the whole thing got out. Someone might have wanted to steal my Steam account to get back. And I sort of spiraled from there. I did notice a behavior shift, to say the least. Yeah, I figured a lot of folks did. I'm probably going to be deleting Twitter off my phone for a while. I don't know why I said that. I'm not looking for your approval. Sorry. I don't know if you still have questions. Nope. All questions have been answered, and I spoke my mind. Okay, thank you again for listening. Focus on yourself and work hard on yourself, Gummy. My pleasure. It's the least I could do. I'll see you around. Do you have any other questions or anything else you want to discuss with me about? Always on WoW or in the server. About to hop on. You do what you feel is best for yourself. I'm not on PC. I've been outside by my bike trying to step away from everything, but I'll let you know if I do anything notable. But for now, I think it's best to log off, as cringe as that sounds. Okay. All right, that's about all of the screenshots. Okay. Femmes of the Fog. Lastly, I want to express my disappointment surrounding Femmes of the Fog founders Amphibian and Danny Blizz, how they chose not to protect and support myself, a previous member of the team, but to actively put other femmes in danger by platforming Freddy at all while knowing what happened. Like, you guys obviously exchanged some stuff. It wasn't mutual. He definitely pushed some boundaries, 100%. Could he have done it to other people? I mean, he definitely could have, absolutely. But I don't think he's, like, I doubt that he's, like, a threat to society. Like, I just don't think that that's the energy that we need to come at this with. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too deep into, like, this part of it. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Maybe I'm just reading too deep into that part. So, because, like, we see a lot of, like, really dumb, sensationalized bullshit online. So forgive me if I'm being, like, maybe too skeptical. Preface and context. I decided to leave Femmes of the Fog as both Danny and Em had personal relations with Gummy, and it made me extremely uncomfortable. I did originally say it was because I was branching out of DBD, and I didn't feel comfortable telling them about him when everything happened because I had originally planned to keep this to myself and very close friends of mine, but I did later tell them. November 21st, 2024. I cut off Freddy, GummyPeachRings. Yep, you cut him off. Okay? And then on January 26th, I left Femmes of the Fog and also confided about what happened to me, but did not provide a name as I was too scared to at the time. Okay, so Danny Blizzard. Thank you for being a part of Femmes of the Fog. I do hope one day your love for the game can come back like it used to. So many of us feel the exact same way. Will you be diving into other games on stream? Yeah, I totally will be. I'm going to be doing the more variety route. Will be tuning in. Thank you so much, lovely. Like I said, I'm going to be hanging out in everyone's streams and such. Unfortunately, I'm just not at a great point in life and don't know what my future looks like at the moment. So I was like, I should just give my spot to somebody that can be present, you know? I get it for sure. I feel so bad for many DBD creators because everyone is faking this way. It makes me so frustrated because the player base was so ride or die for this game, but behavior keeps fucking it up update after update. Yeah, it's like a toxic relationship. You just keep going back to it because you think it's going to get better. It'd be like that sometimes. No, literally, mine is that, plus personal beef with other content creators that is very prevalent in mutual spaces, and I just simply can't deal with that mentally at the moment. Like, if it were just a disagreement, that is one thing, but this person sexually harassed me, so I'm just like, oh my god, what? Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a form of sexual harassment. If it's sex pest behavior, yeah, that is a form of sexual harassment. Yeah, okay, that's not disproportionate. Because normally when I hear sexual harassment online, like, I've heard a lot of dumb situations on the channel before, but no, I don't think that's disproportionate to say, yeah, it is a form of sexual harassment. After I left Femmes of the Fog, I saw them suggesting Gummy as a creator to participate in Mish's tournament and made the decision to share what happened. Summer 2025, nominate your favorite streamers below. All my favorites from Amphibians, listing a bunch of content creators that I am familiar with. So, I made a decision to share that was happening. So, okay, interesting. All right. So the day after, I reached out to Danny and Em and confided in them. Hiya, lovelies. Just got into a match of Apex, but afterwards, I'll post my stuff here. Sounds good. Okay, so I really don't want this going public, but I need to get it off my chest because I have people recommend me for Mish's event, which I doubt I'd even be chosen for. But when I was looking, I saw M recommend this person, and I just feel like at this point I have to step forward to at least you all. Obviously, one of the reasons I was leaving Femmes of the Fog was because I didn't play DBD anymore, but the underlier of why I got out of the DBD content creation space wasn't the game. Sure, it was stale and painful at times, but I usually made my own fun. The other content creator in question who made multiple unwanted advances toward me was a friend of both of you, and you both even did content with this person. I felt alone, ostracized to no fault of you guys. You didn't know anything, and I know if you did, you would have acted on it. But I felt like I couldn't come forward because this person has photos of me, and I mentioned before, the photos are selfies, by the way, and I guess like the shoe pictures or whatever. As I mentioned before, they aren't compromising aside from my identity, which is huge to me as a VTuber. I don't ever want a face reveal, at least not at this point in my life, and I was afraid if I came forward, he'd leak those. So as of right now, I'd appreciate it if you kept this on the down low, as I am still not comfortable publicly coming forward, but I'm going to post screenshots of my convo with my friend about this back when it happened, so I don't have to retype everything. Please feel free to ask questions. Absolutely understand. It stays between us. Well, I guess I should provide a bit of context, because there are a lot of instances and messages missing. He first came on to me after I mentioned that I joke flirt with all my friends, which is true. Didn't you say it wasn't flirtation before in the original document? I could have sworn that you said it wasn't flirtation. Okay. I do all the time. Once I realized that he was being serious, I shut it down, and he started acting shifty, so I deleted all of our DMs to show him proof of all of it, that he knew we were starting fresh, clean slate. It stopped after a couple days, then it started again. I would delete messages because looking at them made me feel dirty and uncomfortable, but I have a couple of screenshots I can provide. So this was after the first incident. This was my final straw. He was actively getting off to our DMs where I just started talking about how I needed to do a haircut and dyes. Dye for the holidays. Hair dye. Okay. And I'm just going to pull up the rest of the images here. So this was after the first incident. This was my final straw. He was actively getting off to our DMs and just talking about it. Okay, let's see. My hair is my security. We already read these DMs. Okay. I was being overly nice because I was scared of him. Everyone in my community loved him and were awestruck when he joined the server and started hanging out. So I knew I had to remain civil or people would ask questions. This was when he was getting down on himself because of his physique, which I'm huge on body positivity and loving yourself at all stages. So I was gassing him up and he takes it as flirting. I'm looking for more. I know that I have more, but I have to find them on my PC. This is just my peace of mind. So I couldn't continue to see y'all interacting with him because without coming forward to you as friends. I did the same with Doe when she was posting about how great he is. Okay. I'm so sorry. It is genuinely so painful to see people interact with someone who caused you a lot of pain. I will say I do have a co-stream planned with him next week, so if you do see that, please note it was planned in advance. I'm going to do my best to remove him slowly from my spaces and distance myself so that nothing comes back to you. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's the way that they're choosing to handle it. All right. I don't think, just to be clear, I don't think the way Amphibian is handling this is necessarily a bad way to handle it. Because, if they truly believe that R is, a victim of this, which definitely, she is a victim of, a form of sex pest behavior, definitely, especially by his own admission of it in the DMs. And he admitted that he was doing it to try to, push boundaries. Absolutely, that is sex pest behavior. I still am not convinced that he's, a violent predator or whatever, or that he's, a threat to society that needs to be, away from society completely. I'm not convinced on that. I think rehabilitation's possible. I don't think the way that M is handling this is inherently a bad thing. Of course, and I really appreciate that. I love you all very much, and I'm so sorry I didn't come forward sooner. I was and still am so scared of my identity being leaked. I guess that's fair enough. It's totally understandable and okay, and again, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Thank you for your kind words and empathy. I really appreciated it. I've tried to move on from this, but seeing his name pop up makes me want to scream every time. Ugh, I'm so sorry. Why do men? I fucking hate them. Not the misandry. Oh no, this is crazy. Not the femcel. That's crazy work, man. All right, she's guilty. GG's. We're done with these allegations. No, I'm just kidding. They literally do, and it is fucking terrible. Also, I obviously don't know exactly what your situation is, but I'm so sorry you had to go through it, and I wish you nothing but healing. And then with Danny Blizzard, I will also be doing the same as her, slowly removing them. Okay, I guess that's not inherently a bad way to handle it, given that, these could be, sex pest DMs for sure. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate listening and taking action. I hope one day I'll be confident enough to talk about it publicly. Well, I guess you did many months later. All right. This is just more my peace of mind. Okay, yeah, we already read the same thing. I don't know why you showed the screenshot twice. Oh, there's two different DMs. What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, she accidentally leaked a so basically, just to be clear, by the way, in these DMs, there's a censored screenshot here, but turns out that this person accidentally leaked whatever this was meant to say. I mean, it's on a publicly available document, so I might as well just add this part in just to show it. As someone whose abusive ex is one of the biggest DVD streamers, I do not blame you at all, truly. Oh, I think I know who it is. Because I used to be part of these Dead by Daylight spaces, so I think I have a pretty good idea of who it is. Yeah, I think I have a good idea. We'll just leave it at that. M stated that she had a co-stream plan with him for next week, so if you do see that, please let me know please know that it was planned in advance. Her saying this made it very apparent that all M cared about was her internet clout and not protecting a fellow femme. Well, no, she definitely cared. She said she was going to do something and that she was going to slowly remove him from your spaces, just to be clear. She did want to do something about it, but she wanted to do it in a way that wasn't suspicious so that it would come back to you. If anything, she was actually doing you a favor. Like, just, I don't really think that's a very fair characterization for M. Like, M was obviously, like, trying to deal with it in the best possible way that she could. Me personally, if I'd been reached out by a former member of my stream team and they opened up about being sexually harassed by this person and shared images with proof especially, I'd have immediately blocked the accused. No. Just no on every account. There's so many different variables. This is such a black and white way to view this. No, just absolutely no. First of all, if the evidence is, like, damning enough, and, like, if you read the DMs, like, it's possible that, like, M and Danny didn't, like, look at those DMs and thought, oh, maybe he didn't, like, intentionally try to, like, push those boundaries, but maybe it was just, like, a few messages, and, I don't know, like, there's many different interpretations that could be taken from those messages. If you don't see the context where he admits that he did it to push the boundaries, like, he admits to doing it with that intention, if you don't see that context, it's very easy to, like, see, like, read those DMs with the interpretation that maybe there could have been, like, other intentions, potentially. It's also especially hard to read those DMs, especially when there's a lot of messages that were deleted from ours end. After all this, and the I'll no longer associate with him, I had a particular run-in with M, a disagreement on Twitter. Okay. Interesting. What was that disagreement? Do you still have that conversation? Okay, interesting. All right. Next thing I know, I see that she is having another collab with him, but this time she has given him a platform with Femmes of the Fog. Okay, so this is after September 6th. Oh, that's shitty. Yeah, I mean, especially after they promised that they would slowly distance themselves. Yeah, I mean, that's a little shitty, for sure. Especially if they knew, but it's also, I don't know, man. I mean, if you want to be charitable to M here, it's possible that she probably didn't see enough evidence at the time to think, oh, this guy is, like, what he did was shitty and problematic. I mean, obviously it seems like she was under that interpretation from these DMs, but it's also possible that she didn't see enough to be like, hey, I should publicly stop associating with this guy. Maybe it's possible that he's changed. I don't know. It's possible. Who knows, like, what was going through her head. Like, there's a million other things that could have gone through with it. I doubt that if he was, like, a legitimate, like, predator, that she would, like, platform him or whatever. And also, you have to remember that, like, audience capture is, like, a heavy thing in the DBD spaces. And right now, like, as it stands, the allegations against GummyPeachRings wasn't public, so she didn't really feel any pressure publicly to, like, not associate with him anymore. Femmes of the Fog Anniversary Day 2 with Beulah, Pixie, and Gumbo. Not gonna lie, this is, I assume that's meant to insinuate that this is like a fire stream. This all hurt extremely bad, as I was so incredibly excited to be part of Femmes of the Fog and dived headfirst into my duties as a mod when I was on the team. I provided ideas for events, supported team members, and showed up for streams, gave support in Discord server, and even helped with tourneys that some of the Femmes were hosting. Meanwhile, the two co-founders that I looked up to so much were showing their true colors, that they never cared about the Femmes that were on the team. They just cared about their own personal gain. I suppose that's possible. Maybe they do care about, like, that. And it's possible maybe they're optics based. I haven't really seen enough to suggest that. I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't know. Now that I know that Danny was not active in the actual collab, I do hold her accountable as a co-founder for letting it happen in Femmes of the Fog name being attached to it while knowing what happened to me. For Femmes, by Femmes, to empower Femmes. I was hesitant to add this bit, but I truly wanted Femmes of the Fog to thrive and be a wonderful place where Femmes can thrive and find their place in a huge pool of content creators, but I also feel very uncomfortable, disappointed, and hurt by M's actions in particular, and I would hate for what happened to me to happen to anyone else on the stream team. I also want accountability for how they failed to protect a fellow Femme, especially one that was one of their own at one point. Okay, and that's the end of the document. All right. M released her response document pretty quickly, surprisingly. And that's another thing. It's like, I don't know. I feel like when allegations come out about somebody, you should give them some amount of time to respond. You know what I mean? Like, I think a reasonable amount of time is like maybe a week or 2 weeks. If it's like very convoluted allegations, it depends how convoluted they are. This doesn't seem like it was that convoluted. It doesn't seem like there was that much. So I guess it explains why M didn't take that long to respond to this. pretty quickly. So this is just her response to R's document. Link to it in case you haven't seen it. R, I've reached out to you in DMs to apologize privately, but I will also do so here. Okay. It's very interesting that she didn't include that in her original document. I don't know why she chose not to include that, but okay. I'd also like to publicly speak about why this, not only to hold myself accountable, but also so that nobody's in the dark about why I responded the way I did and why I made the decision I did. I will also preface this document by saying that I am more than willing to have open conversations about the topic and will answer any questions I get. I am sincerely sorry to anyone who I hurt or disappointed with my inaction, and my DMs are fully open to anyone who would like to discuss it further. Everything I have to say is supported by R's document as well. And then she made an edit here. R and I did have a private conversation that I think we both feel was very productive. R knows that I am sorry and that I held myself accountable by stepping down from Femmes of the Fog. That's all I care about. I don't think you needed to do that. I think stepping down from Femmes of the Fog is a bit of a, like, that's, I think that's disproportionate. I don't know. I mean, it's like, could you have handled the situation better? I guess, maybe. But I feel like stepping down is just like, I don't know. I feel like I can't help but feel like this was a bit of an optics play, for sure. Because it's like, okay, I guess like people think, oh god, the owner doesn't actually care about women and they are a threat to women, I guess. That's like what the narrative is going to be on Twitter. And so I guess to not hurt the brand, she stepped down, which I don't know. I mean, I guess from that perspective, maybe it wasn't an overcorrection. But I think from like an actual moral perspective, this was unnecessary. Like, morally, this is not like it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, don't do that, you know, maybe handle it a little better. That's literally it. That's the criticism. That's it. You do better, and you could still run it. You've probably done a lot of good things. I know Em has raised a lot of money for charity back when I was in the community. Like, hey, just do better. That's literally it. Okay. It's like, generally speaking, like, it's okay. I don't know. I disagree with that personally, but I guess from an optics standpoint, I get why she did it. All right, March 7th, 2025. R approached me, Danny and I, in DMs on March 7th to let us know that Gummy made unwanted advances to her. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, he did admit it to, like, private conversations, so I guess I won't push back on that too much. I still really wish that R wouldn't delete her side of the I guess, messages at the very least. Like, if you wanted to delete, like, pictures or, like, blur out pictures or whatever, that's totally fine. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as you're transparent about that in the document saying, hey, I removed this, but that's the only reason I removed it because I was worried he was going to use it or something. Okay, that makes sense. But, like, removing the actual, like, message words that you typed out, your side of it is a little bit, like, that could come across to people like you're hiding something. Right? I don't think she was, based on everything I've seen so far, but that is how that could be interpreted to other people outside of the Dead by Daylight community trying to educate themselves on the situation. She privately came forward to us to let us know what transpired between the two of them. However, in every screenshot that was sent to me, which are all available in R's document, yep, everything I was sent was between the two of them that seemed mutual. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's kind of the interpretation that I had as well. It's because it's possible that you could have interpreted that way. I mean, like, I don't think what you saw was damning enough to, like, stop associating with him. I did not understand that from her viewpoint what happened at the time. Now that I've seen the rest of her document, I fully understand it, and I do apologize for having it misconstrued at the time. Okay, yeah, these are all the messages between them. Yep, we've already read these. Specifically, these screenshots are what gave me pause. What didn't make sense to me at the time of reading these was why not just block him at that point. R mentioned in her document that she jokingly flirts with all of her friends, but this did not read as a joke to me. In one of the screenshots, Gummy says he knows what he's saying is outside of her boundaries, and she agreed that it was, and I was not shown that he continued to flirt with her beyond that point. Yeah, it is sex pest behavior, absolutely. Yeah, sure. I was not shown any of the screenshots that she provided in her document before or after November 18th, 2024. This is important because all I had to go off of was to make a judgment call, where the screenshots where she put in her document from November 18th, 2024, which again, to me, all seemed to be reciprocal conversation, except the final messages Gummy sent. And again, at which point I didn't see or receive anything to indicate he had flirted with her or impeded her boundaries afterwards. He proceeds to continue to make more sexual jokes after apologizing. You're in a committed relationship too. I don't want to make this whole thing to make you and Ian feel uncomfortable. I'm truly sorry. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. He states that. Yeah, we already read all this. Cool. In September 29th, 2025. Yep, these are all from the document, just to be clear. These screenshots were never shown to me. I have to make a judgment call based on solely what was sent between Gummy and R on November 18, 2024. I want to again reiterate that I did not receive any of the screenshots about anything that transpired past that date, and R would agree and acknowledge that. With the full context of the situation, I fully admit and agree that I did not act on this as I should have. If there were issues I had, what was brought to me, I should have asked R for clarification instead of not doing anything. Probably would have been better, but I don't think you need to step down from Femmes of the Fog. I think that's like a bit disproportionate. Regardless of my own understanding of what was brought to me, I told R that I would slowly distance myself, and that is true. I've spoken to Gummy twice total since R messaged Danny and I, except for the final collab in September, which I'll get to momentarily. Femmes of the Fog collab. In September, we celebrated Femmes of the Fog 1 year anniversary by doing a public event. I'd collabed with Gummy in the past, and in our old group chat, was asked to collaborate again. I made a big mistake agreeing to do it, I guess. I mean, you acted on the information that you had at the time. Regardless of how I felt what was originally shared with me, I should have said no, and this is 100% on me for failing to respond accordingly. I do apologize to R for that sincerely. I do want to make one clarification about this event for anyone who is reading her document and needs clarification on it. This was open to the public for anyone to participate in. I had no say in whether or not Gummy participated in it regardless, and this collab most likely would have occurred with or without me. Femmes of the Fog has nothing to do with Gummy's participation, and it does not reflect on their values that he participated. Accountability and apology. I should have responded to R's report much faster, and I should have been more accepting of what was brought to me. I should have asked for clarification on the points that I did not understand, and it was unfair to R that I did not remove Gummy from my spaces. He and I were never ever close friends and shouldn't have even been a question to just block and move on. I admit to that. I'm truly sorry, and I agree it reflects poorly on myself and my judgment that I did not act on. I should have instantly cut ties with Gummy, and I didn't. I take full accountability and responsibility for that. I should not have agreed to the collab regardless of anything else. Even without the extra context, I made a mistake that hurt somebody. And while I can't take that back, I can absolutely try and do better in the future. I hurt another woman, and that is not acceptable. I will be removing myself from Femmes of the Fog moving forward. Please do not blame anyone other than me for what has transpired. I don't think that's proportionate. I disagree with that decision. I think it's just a do better moment. I don't think you saw it as harming a woman, or I don't think you saw it that way at the time. You know, I doubt that M was trying to make it an unsafe space for women. I feel like that's just not proportionate. But okay, I mean, this is the level of disproportionate energy that's, like, on DVD Twitter all the time, I guess. So, I mean, everybody is so fucking cancel hungry in that community. It's fucking insane. TLDR, I was given limited screenshots on R and Gummy, and I made a proper judgment call, and I collabed with him in September. I apologize for that. So, a final statement. Based on the context that was provided for me, I made an improper judgment. Okay, yeah, we already read this. Okay. I'll be stepping down. It's clear that I missed a mark in responding to the situation. Maybe, but it's not one that it's not so great to the point where you have to step down as one of the co-founders. I don't think that's fair, but I guess from an optics standpoint, you felt it was necessary. As I said in the first paragraph on page 1, my DMs are open to anyone who would like to have a convo about it, yada, yada, yada. Well, I doubt you'd want to have a conversation further, as is your right. My DMs are always open to you as well. I'm sorry that I hurt for the hurt that I caused you. Okay, cool. All right, this is Danny Blizzard's statement. This is 3 pages long. I imagine this won't take us very long to read. I'd like to firstly apologize for the delay in response. I've been traveling away from home with little to no cell service. I did not want to respond to R or the community without reading their document and giving the situation my full attention. I'd like to address the following. GummyPeachRings, Femmes of the Fog anniversary event, untagged myself from the posts and the soft block that came from the official Femmes of the Fog account here on X. Okay, so GummyPeachRings. The situation with GummyPeachRings was brought to my attention in March of this year. We did not receive all the screenshots provided in R's release document, but we did receive the below. Okay, cool. Because R expressed fear of the information going public, we chose to keep it private. This was her story to share, not ours. The moment I learned of Gummy's behavior, I unfollowed him and did not pursue any sort of connection with him thereafter. I do not condone abusers. Okay, that's... Okay. So, based on everything we've read, there was no abuse in the situation, just to be absolutely clear. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like... I feel like people mean well in a lot of these communities, but like the narrative just gets so out of hand so quickly. Like based on what I saw, there wasn't any abuse. All right, like when I think of abuse, I think of like actively trying to control the person and like making a conscious decision to try to control them very heavily. It's like, I don't know, people see like a toxic relationship and automatically go to abuse. Right, and I feel like abuse doesn't really mean anything in these spaces. What happened wasn't abusive, all right? It was sex pest behavior, and it was not good that he did it, but, like, he's not a threat to people. And this might sound like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, like, I doubt that R is going to be traumatized from this situation. I feel like, if anything, like, all the disproportionate energy might be more of a trauma to R than what the actual interaction itself. It's still, like, not good. Just to be clear, it's still very like I wouldn't doubt that she looks back on it and is like grossed out by it. That's like definitely, I wouldn't doubt that. But I highly like there's no abuse in this situation. All right, like can we like chill out and like just be normal about this? Like we don't need to like go off the fucking deep end and like just like chill the fuck out. All right, like we don't need to go off the deep end about this. All right, like I do not condone what he did to R. We did not share this information with anyone, including other managers and the members of Femmes of the Fog. Femmes of the Fog anniversary event. We recently held a event open to all creators as a way to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. We were excited about how much Femmes of the Fog and our teammates had accomplished in our first year, and we wanted to open the celebration to include all. However, in doing so, we also opened the event to individuals that do not reflect our values, and I was not actively checking on who was joining the event. There were absolutely no safeguards in place to check who was joining and participating in this event, which was a mistake. We should not have allowed GummyPeachRings to take part of the Femmes of the Fog event months after this was brought to my and M's attention. For that, I take accountability. Moving forward, events hosted by Femmes of the Fog will be vetted in regards to which community members are allowed to join. I hope that you all will not hold the other members who participated in the collaboration responsible for not knowing about Gummy's private actions at the time. Soft block on the Femmes of the Fog account. I also like to address things that have transpired since R posted her document. First off, R was soft block on the Femmes of the Fog Twitter account. This account is run by several members of the team, and this soft blocking was done by a member who thought they were on a personal account, and in the heat of the moment while tensions were high. Regardless of why or when they did it, I recognize that as the owner of the team, this action is my responsibility, and I fully apologize for it. I want to make it clear that R has the full support of myself and of Femmes of the Fog. I'd also like to address untagging my account since R released her document. At the time the document was released, I did not have phone service to load it. I had people that were trying to explain to me what was in it, all the while I was being spam tagged on Twitter, which admittedly overwhelmed me. At the time, I turned off tagging from my Twitter account to get notifications to stop, but I did not consider how that would look to anyone else. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I want to make it clear that I did not go through individual posts to untag myself for the sake of avoiding this situation or taking accountability. I was unable to address anything at the time, and in that moment, I did what would benefit my mental health. I have since turned the setting back on, but I recognize that the damage is done, and I am truly sorry. I feel horrid that I ever made R think I didn't support her. I have and always stand by victims. Please don't blame Femmes of the Fog for anything, as this is a cross for me to bear. The rest of the team found out as soon as R released the document. We did not share this information with leadership. Most found out overnight and early in the morning. We have been taking the time to process this as a team. We, as a leadership, do not want to rush or make any rash decisions, I guess. No one prepares you for these situations. What seems rational in the heat of high stress can be a total miss, and you won't know until you fumble it personally. I have always tried and will continue to do my best for people on and off the team. I am eternally sorry to R and anyone else who feels hurt right now. Okay, that concludes that. Femmes of the Fog released an official statement regarding the allegations against Gummy, so we'll just read this, and I think that pretty much concludes everything about the situation, and I'll just give like my final take on the situation one more time, just so people hear it fully. Official statement. As leaders, we have learned that reacting too quickly to things posted can be a misstep. We wanted to take the time to process this news as we were receiving properly, especially since this was the first time we were hearing of this situation. Many of us had not until a few hours ago due to the holiday season. In the hours since receiving this information, we've been processing this and discussing together as a team what went wrong, what should have happened, and what we can change in the future. Firstly, and most importantly, we'd like to share our full support of Ree at this difficult time. We commend R for coming forward with this information, as a lot of us understand firsthand how difficult it is to out an abuser. So Gummy is not an abuser based on all the evidence that's available publicly. It's not good what he did. I don't think what he did was appropriate, and he admits that he did it to test boundaries and to push boundaries after they said no. So that's not good at all. That's definitely something that he needs to deal with offline. But if he was a legitimate abuser, like if he was on the level of, like, I don't know, Brad Taste in Music or Mizkif or something, then he would be a legitimate threat to society. And based on what I've seen, that's not the case. So again, I think categorizing it as abusive is disproportionate. That's not the right way to go about it, but okay. We've also seen mention in relation to a situation that unfolded with members of a separate team called Dead by Femmes. To be clear, Dead by Femmes is not the same as Femmes of the Fog, and the two groups were never associated with one another. We'd also clarify Gummy was never a part of our stream team, as we are a femme and non-binary only team. Gummy participated in an event held in September, which was open to anybody in the community. As a team planning this event, we failed to realize the potential repercussions of allowing anyone to join unchecked. We have learned from this mistake and will set up better safeguards for similar events in the future. Our mission has always been to uplift, empower, and support one another in this space, even if there are missteps along the way. We try and learn and grow from our mistakes we make. Femmes of the Fog is dedicated in creating a safe space with femmes, and we will intend to uphold that mission in everything we do. We fully support R, and will continue to learn and do better for femmes in this space. Okay. Bit of a typical PR response, but I'm not really too concerned about that. They, I guess, dealt with it in the way they could, aside from saying that he's abusive, which I think, just like from a factual standpoint, is just false. There's no abuse that happened based on the available screenshots. Yeah, so my final take is that Gummy definitely exhibited some form of sex pest behavior. They should probably deal with it offline. I don't think Gummy is a threat to society. I think there's a route where Gummy can rehabilitate and do better. I think that Dead by Daylight Twitter is always going to be disproportionate when dealing with these kinds of things. They're going to treat him like he's some violent person, like he's Andrew Tate or something, and that he's like trafficking other people or whatever. They're going to treat it like it's that same level essentially on DBD Twitter, because they over sensationalize and overreact to literally everything. That's kind of just like how it's going to be, unfortunately. But I do think there's a route where Gummy can rehabilitate and do better for the future. That's really the take, you know, and I also doubt that Reese or R or whoever, however you say her name, I doubt that she's going to be traumatized from this situation. I don't think it was a traumatizing experience. I think it was a gross experience from her perspective, and that's a valid feeling to have, you know. It's a gross experience, but, you know, I just think it's important that we need to meet situations where they're at. So, yeah,